The chairman of this occasion, the guest speaker, representatives of various chief executives here present, the organizers of this event, the caretaker committee of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Zamfara State Council, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me extend to you my warmest gratitude for being here this morning to be part of this very important occasion, which I believe is a part of a procedure that the Nigerian Union of Journalists has taken so serious, because leadership is the thread that links us between our innermost parts and what we see in reality. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, because of time constraint, I'm going to take my two positions at the same time. I will speak here on behalf of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Zamfara State. At the same time, I've been invited also to be a discussant of the paper presented this morning by our distinguished elder statesman, Alhaji Khalil. So on behalf of His Excellency, let me congratulate the Nigerian Union of Journalists Zamfara State Chapter for organizing this very important occasion, which I believe is going to, by tomorrow or next, mark the transit between the leadership in the state NUJ and the new one. Of significance to the government is the two major events you have actually slated for this occasion. The first, which is taking place now, a symposium which is supposed to educate the people, to bring stakeholders together and find some solutions to certain problems facing the society. And I believe if we continue with this kind of dialogue, we are going to have a better ground for meeting with all our grievances and then educating one another on what to do next for our citizens in society. Secondly, I understand that the organizers will be paying a visit to an orphanage here in the state. And I think this is also extremely commendable. Why is it very commendable? Because the whole of Nigeria, Zamfara State is among the foremost states that need this kind of sympathy. The conflicts that have been taking place in the state, the banditry crisis that has been taking place in the state has rendered the entire state at a point in time into a kind of comatose. Today, we don't have any fewer than 30,000 orphans across the state. We have widows. We have people whose economy has been ruined as a result of all these conflicts. Therefore, this visit by the organizers of this event to this selected orphanage is in line with what the state government has been calling for, because there is no way the state government alone can address the entire humanitarian crisis taking place in the state. No state in Nigeria, even NUJ, which suffered the problem of banditry, the problem of Boko Haram. Even Borno State and Yobe State, which suffered the problem of Boko Haram, do not have the kind of crisis Zamfara State has today in terms of humanitarian crisis. So therefore, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to once again commend you for that. And I want to call on you to continue with what you have been doing to ensure that this is achieved. Oh. For what has happened. As of yesterday, when the chairman of this occasion called me and informed me that I'm one of the discussants here, I never thought I would be able to speak today with you, because as of this time I'm speaking to you yesterday, I was at Usman Danfodio Teaching Hospital. And of course, because of the importance of the invitation, I said, even though I am advised to have a rest, I have to stay. I can't stay without coming to do this exercise. So the chairman of this occasion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that is so much with representation of His Excellency, and I think I have said enough to at least help us to know the situation we have in Zamfara State, and of course what we have to do as individuals and also as media organization to ensure that we bail our people out of the problem we are facing today. The paper so presented has delved on so many issues that have to do with human development, which border on education, it borders on health, it borders on social services, it borders on the community development and also the economy of the country. And I think every media organization has, first of all, its responsibility to pursue this than others. And the Nigerian media has been doing what it can, but I will not say the Nigerian media has been doing its best. And because of what we have today in terms of schism within the system, we always have a problem of maintenance, we have a problem of focus, we have the problems of principles, we have the editorial policy building, which is also centered on so many other interests rather than national interest. And I think we have to definitely address these problems. We have to address these problems when it comes to establishing new media organizations in this country. We are educators. How do we educate? Because we gather information that are useful to the younger ones, that are useful to professionals, that are useful to all other segments of the society, so that we can use them to ensure that we contribute our own quota to the development of our society and to the development of our country as a whole. We are also crusaders. Why are we crusaders? Because we have to ensure that we use the tools we have to develop ourselves instead of to divide ourselves, to develop our economy instead of to destroy our economy, and to build our national interest instead of destroying our national interest. And these are exactly what all private and government media organizations are supposed to do to ensure that these are actually achieved. And then we are also called the informants. Yes, we are informants because we inform the people of what the government is doing, and then we in turn tell the government what the people feel about what the government is doing for them. And I think these are very, very, well, we have other things like being entertainers, because under normal circumstances, somebody will think that it is being unserious to entertain. But I am telling you that a single laugh can take away stress from you. A single laughing can take away the entire burden that is weighing down to allow your brain to function properly. So everything you see coming within the conventional media is a restricted kind of output that undergoes process to ensure that it builds the person, it builds the community, it builds the society, and it builds the nation. What I am particularly interested in is the issue of the social media, which the presenter decided to do away. But I'm sure there are so many people who have asked there are people who have asked questions about social media. Let me tell you what I feel about social media. The social media is a new kind of reaching the public which the community can benefit. We have them in abundance, the Twitters, the Facebook, the personal one which is WhatsApp, and so on and so forth. These are not media platforms. This is what we have to understand. A medium is an established organization that has registration and has an area of coverage. It has ability to send processed news and information that undergoes what I said process. That is gatekeeping. And when it reaches the public, there is an opportunity for it to get a feedback that is as a result of what it has sent to the public. That feedback allows it to analyze what it has and build on what it dishes out in future. So the social media is more or less a platform where people socialize, where people share opinions, but it's not strictly a medium, and neither can it take the position of a medium, but it's the easiest way of communicating to the individual, that is to reaching with the audience. And that is exactly why even the conventional media decided to seize the opportunity of using the social media to reach its own communities and their individual audiences. And of course, if you see Trust newspaper online, all the news it publishes is supposedly undergoing the process of editing and all other exigencies that are around conventional media before it is laid there in difference with the other social media platforms. So there are only conventional media on social media, and you cannot technically call them social media. So that is the difference, and people should understand. And of course, as he has said, there must be a regulation for social media practice in Nigeria. Because if there is no regulation for social media in Nigeria, then there will be a big problem as to issue of national unity, to the issue of national cohesion, and so on and so forth. But distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the topic that is brushed aside, I am not sure if it is going to be discussed by somebody. But let me say that the topic is very, very important, that I would like you to give me a few minutes to talk about it, because I will tell you that for more than a year, I've been trying to find a platform where I will talk to the journalists in this kind of manner on the issue that has to do with media responsibility to solution of conflicts. Because in Zamfara state, we are one of the states that are faced with conflict situation. Because what is happening today between the government and the community versus the bandits between the bandits and the security operatives is, of course, a real conflict situation that is generating a lot of unpalatable results, which include deaths, loss of property, loss of life, suffering as a result of abductions, and so on and so forth. So, if I'm allowed, let me look at it and say that conflicts are struggles that can arise during an active disengagement of opinions or interests. I got this definition from the Indeed Editorial team, which is a career development magazine. And it goes along to say resolution of conflict is the method and process involved in the familiarization of peaceful ending of a conflict. If these are what we call conflict and conflict resolutions, then how do we achieve this? We achieve this by being able to find peaceful solution to disagreements between two parties that leaves the two parties reasonably satisfied. So you can see that a solution of a conflict is not about a winner takes all. It is about a resolution where all the parties involved that are involved have taken home something and have agreed to solve their problem. And I think this doesn't fault His Excellency's decision when he came into office to enter into negotiation with bandits. Many people have been faulting His Excellency for that, but these are international scholars that are telling you that in every conflict you must satisfy both parties. If you don't, there is no way you can have any peaceful conflict. And this is what is called leadership trait. This is what the International Magazine on Career Development said. Now, the media in Nigeria, unfortunately, is not taking the toll of solving conflicts within the society. If we take it at the national level before we come to state level, at the national level, you find that there is conflict taking place between, for instance, the people of Ogoniland or the people of southeastern Nigeria against the federal government in terms of revenue generation. What did Eradua do? What he did is to use his leadership trait to find a solution. What is the solution between conflict between Ogoniland and the federal government? It was to come to the table and then give and take. They agreed to lay down their arms, but the federal government must create ministry for Niger Delta, which is being given a lot of money to develop them. They are given 13% revision, which when you have the money of the oil, you give them 13% of it, and we had peace. Now, in Zamfara State, if we take it this way, His Excellency said he wants to do something like this, which every leader is supposed to do, to give and take. And we had relative peace for more than a year. But today, this one has been scuttled. We are facing the bandits square and we want to win all. How can we achieve that? We must make sure that we are stronger than the bandits. And if for 10 years we didn't show any strength over the bandits, what do? This is exactly what His Excellency decided to do right now, to empower our youth with weapons to face the bandits. And that is exactly how we can be stronger than them and then deal with them. The media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is supposed to help in this. If you take a content analysis of most of the major media output in Nigeria today, you will find out that in most cases they are biased. They take one side. If today the Igbo said the Igbo land said they want to secede from Nigeria. The Eastern Nigeria said it wants to secede from Nigeria. There are media organizations that are supporting them to secede from Nigeria. Whereas we all know that they are saying they want to secede from Nigeria because they are dissatisfied with what the political development taking place in Nigeria, where they feel they are sidelined. Yes. So the thing is for the media to help in bringing a platform. Why don't the media, instead of supporting the East to secede from Nigeria, and the northern media also supporting the government to deal with the Igbos, why don't we as media call on the government to call for national conference, if it means to call for national referendum, so that we can come and sit down together and solve this problem, because that is the only way such problems can be resolved. And I think part of it is what generated the rotational presidency in our political system in the past, which now gives us, despite the fact that the American democracy we are copying does not have anything like rotation, but we have enshrined it in our political system. It is now our political culture to shift power to south and from south to shift it to the north. And I think this is conflict resolution. So how do we, as media, use our talents to solve conflicts? Number one is, as media organization, we should not ignore the conflict. What is happening in Zamfara State, for instance, is something we cannot simply ignore or brush under the carpet. Because anything you brush under the carpet, it may look that it has died at that time, but is alive and is germinating. One day it will come on with a bigger problem than you have at hand today. So the most important thing is to solve it than to brush it under the carpet. So what is happening today as media organizations, we have to take it upon our responsibility to make sure that the entire or almost all the contents of our media output are discussing reasonably the issues of banditry in the state. I want to assure you that even the government, where the governor will sit with his ESCO, they brainstorm to come with ideas of how to solve problems. The military and police, where they sit together and brainstorm to find solutions. They get the pulse of the people, the contribution of the people who are suffering the problem through the media, and it helps them in molding their decisions on issues that have to do with the people. In this case, in the Zamfara State, the issue of insecurity. So, before we do that, we have to define the problem. How do we define the problem? The problem is that we have to understand it. As media, you have to understand why the issue of banditry came up. What transformations has it taken place? And what situation is it today? Is it between the Fulani and Hausa? Is it between the Ansake and the bandits? Is it between the military and the bandits? Or is it between the government and the bandits? You have to understand the role of all these segments in the crisis. And the only solution is also to come to the table and discuss these issues and find solution to it. So only the media can help in disseminating all this information that have to do, and even mobilize and even educate. Because you may look at yourself as very little because you only go to the beat, you will research, write your story, give it to your medium, and the medium publishes it. No, that is not exactly your position. Your position is more important to the government than what you think you are. Because what you put out is what the government read and analyze and sort out the most useful of them and help it to find a solution to the problem of the people you serve. And the third stage is media should allow and help the government and the aggrieved persons find a neutral ground. Because the last time we had a conference of this nature or during during Goodluck Jonathan, there was also a conference that has to do with politics, that has to do with restructuring, that has to do with Sharia system, that it has to do with so many other aspects of our lives. It is only this neutral ground that will give you the opportunity to think, to brainstorm, and to share, because everybody is there as a representative of every segment of the society. So if we happen to do this, we'll find always a problem solution to what we are facing. And in this kind of situation, you should allow everybody to have his say. I have seen so many content of news. For instance, just yesterday I was reading in one university where fire got an installment there. I mean, it is a market where shops were burnt worth millions of naira. 5 people who own shop on in that market have their shops burnt down completely. But all the names are from certain community from southern Nigeria, and the university is in the north. And I was reading the comments on that Vanguard newspaper, and I was reading that comment, and all the comments people are making are extremely negative, like as if the community here doesn't want those people. That is why they call their talks to burn their. So I happen to know the public relations officer of that university. I called him. He said there are 26 shops that were burnt, and only 9 of them are from that community. So you can see that the reporter decided to have others don't have their say. He eliminated them. For his own reason, he made it look like some people are not wanted and their shops were being burnt. So this is exactly what the media must address in its conflict resolution, instead of fueling those kind of conflicts. And whenever you happen to be together, then make sure that when you sit in this kind of neutral ground, a solution has come out of it. Because if a solution doesn't come out of it, the acrimony will even increase, because by the time everybody lowers his temper down and agrees that we'll stay and talk, he is looking for solution. And if you allow solution not to appear in that sitting, you are, at the end of the day, you are telling everybody that go and continue what you are doing. So once you reach that point of no return, make sure that you do not return. Resolve your problems there and address it. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I had wanted to hear more about the the presenter when he was going to give a paper on this. But unfortunately, because it's a new topic altogether, I still want to have this topic sometimes. I should be invited. This is a challenge I give to the NUJ. I want to do a thorough presentation on the issue of conflict resolution as regards the role of the media. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together again for the organization. The National President of the NUJ, Chief Priest Isijo, and of course Vice President of A, Madam Muhammad Tukur Umar, and other national officials of this union, including all members of the council. We should express our appreciation to the invited guests, more especially those who attended this occasion, and also commend the credentials and the electoral committee for a wonderful organization or for a wonderful arrangement made to ensure success or successful conduct of this Triennial Delegate Conference. For the presentation, we have nothing to say rather to say kudos to the presenters and also discussants, and also to thank the government for the support and encouragement given to the union to ensure we excel. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to guide us and help us. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Recently, Mr. Chairman, permit me to stand on the existing protocols because of the time factor. Alhamdulillah, my fellow senior colleagues and other gentlemen of the press, I greet you in the Islamic form of greetings. Assalamu alaikum. I did not plan to speak, but I've been ordained to speak. I always feel I'm part of you and I'm one of you. The speaker just made a remark that I'm eligible to vote. Yes, certainly. I hold my NUJ card. I'm a member of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. I'm proud of that. The topic is a paramount topic, and it is a timely topic. It came at a time when there is a cruciating need for media to play its traditional role in order to uplift and also salvage the society from decadence. If you look at the current situation that Nigeria finds itself, and particularly the northern part of Nigeria, and in particular our dear state, Zamfara State, is one of the seriously crime-ridden societies in the country. And therefore, media and journalists or the press have greater role to play in Zamfara State, I think, than, rather than any other state, or more than any other state. So therefore, what I'm trying to do here, or what I will do, is just to interact with you and share ideas with you, not to lecture or to give a talk. We all know as journalists and also as press, we know that we have key role to play in the society, in the development of the society in all its ramifications. When I say in all its ramifications, I mean in all angles: political, religious, economic, and what have you. So therefore, what we need to do now as journalists is to prioritize. What I mean by prioritizing is, even in economics, they said, if you have a lot of demands that your resources cannot cater for, you do what? Scale of preference, right? Then we now look at what we need most and concentrate on it. When you look at Zamfara State currently, and especially with the present development and the zeal as well as the passion of the Executive Governor, His Excellency Dr. Bello Mohamed Matawalle Maradon, in trying to see an end to the lingering crisis of banditry, abduction for ransom, and wanton killings in the society, or in Zamfara State in particular, you will see that there are a lot of tensions and attention that have been drawn as a result of that move by His Excellency. Recently, His Excellency made a pronouncement that in self-defense, people in Zamfara State are free to own guns. And this has created a lot of, noises across not the Nigerian society only, but across the globe. But when you look at it critically, my special advisor has touched on it and brushed on it. When you critically look at this issue, it is a challenge on the media as well as the press to ponder and also make analytical analysis of this and weigh public view. Because why I say weigh public view, there is one of these effective media houses I have realized in our state, the Thunder Blowers, which is an investigative, media that goes to look and cranny of issues when they happen. So I think it is a challenge thrown on this kind of media stations to deep down, to go and dig down into the fabric of the society and gather their view to know their take on this move by His Excellency, that is there need for self-defense? Is it allowed? We're all Muslims. What is the position of the ulamas on self-defense? What is the position of Islam on self-defense? And what is the stand of our cultural norms and values as Hausa Fulanis? So this is what we are supposed to do, but not somebody sitting on his comfort zone somewhere where he is highly protected and talking all kind of rubbish, telling people that what the governor is saying is not something that should be said in the society. So as media, we always look at issues objectively. How do we look at issues objectively? We detach ourselves from the event. We detach ourselves from the event. What I mean by detachment of self from the event is try to be objective and neutral as possible. That is why you are media. When you say media, you mean something that is in between two things. And that is why it is said the media is the fourth realm of this, is the fourth estate of the realm. That means apart from the legislative arm of government, the executive and the judiciary, the next is the media. Why? Because the media stays in between two blocks. And one of the blocks is government, and the other block is the society. And you as media, you are in between. So that means it is orchestrated and it has been ordained and mandated that you have to play the role of neutrality. Even though naturally there is no way you can be neutral, but at least even in the Quran, we have been taught that if you have married more than, I'm sorry for the ladies, they don't want to hear more than one wife. If you have more than one wife, you should try to be objective and try not to align on one side and leave the other side. That is, وَلَا تَمِيلُ كُلَّ الْمَيْلِ فَتَذَرُوهَا كَالْمُعَلَّقَةِ. That you should not align yourself totally to one part, leaving or subjugating the other part helpless. So that is the role the society, the media is supposed to be playing in the society. So going forward, because of time factor, there are three things I want to mention here that I want us to take note as media people in our practice. Whether you are online or you are an offline media or medium, you should try to imbibe the culture of the traditional role of the media. That is to educate, to inform, and to enlighten. And furthermore, to entertain. Yes, because apart from all this, all play and all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, isn't it? So amusement is part of the role of the media in the society. So apart from being neutral and objective in your work, there is what is trending currently in the society, which we should try to uphold in the practice of journalism. There is what we call misinformation. You all know it. We have what we call disinformation, and we have what we call malinformation. But these three things are confusing. What is misinformation? Misinformation is normally a journalist or a sender of the message centered. Why? Because the information is false. The information is what? Is false. But either knowingly or unknowingly, the sender of that message believes that it is true. So that is what we call misinformation. So as a journalist, when you get information, try to do what we call verification. By verifying, you can ascertain whether this information that you believe is true is not true. Then you debunk it. So what I'm trying to say here, in misinformation, the sender of the message believes it is true, whereas it is not true. So we should try to do what? To verify the information before we send it. Then we have what we call disinformation. And in disinformation, the information is false, just like misinformation. But deliberately or intentionally the sender believes that it is false, but he wants to send it. That is what we call disinformation. Here, the sender knows it is untrue, and the society knows that it is untrue. But the sender of the message wants to deliberately send it to cause what? The intention is to cause confusion. That is disinformation. So we should distance ourselves from it as journalists. Then number 3, we have what we call malinformation. Here, the information is based on reality. The information is based on reality. The society knows it is real information. It is accurate information. It is true information. But the sender or the medium wants to twist it and fabricate it so that it looks untrue to the eyes of the public. This is where the category of the present situation of sending information to the people that people should go on self-defense falls in. So there are a lot of malinformation about it because it is a true statement. It is a true situation. We all know the situation we find ourselves, that we need solution. The governor has tried his possible best to use dialogue, to use kinetic and non-kinetic approaches to this problem, but they all proved abortive or they were sabotaged. So you now find that there is no any other alternative than to ask people to lawfully and legally own their arms and weapons in order to defend themselves. But there are a lot of malinformation about this because we all know that it is true that we have to defend ourselves. Islamically, when you are attacked, you can retaliate, you can react. وَجَزَاءُ سَيِّئَةٌ مِثْلَهَا. But if you are patient, if it is something that you can be patient, you can be patient. Yes, that is what God likes most. But وَجَزَاءُ سَيِّئَةٌ مِثْلَهَا. Right? I think we are all Muslims, we know this. So it is Quranically accepted that you can defend yourself. But I'm not saying, or the governor is not saying that there should be rampant guns among the people, all big and hairy, the mud, the sound, whatever, the old, the young, the boys, everybody should take gun. No. This case has procedure, and the procedure has to be through license and legal means of obtaining weapons to defend themselves. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Let me start by, first of all, 2 apologies. The first apology is the apology of my boss, the Honorable Commissioner, Haji Ibrahim Magaji Dusara, who have been here with us. But I am sure the Secretary of the Committee knew we were served 2 days ago with this activity. And already the Honorable Commissioner had a lecture to deliver presently at Zakas. So I'm tendering his apology before this Honorable House. Secondly, my own personal apology. This gathering for coming in late. And I also expect you to sympathize with me for having lost the guest speaker who I had wanted to be present as a veteran journalist and a journalist of repute. I know he made a very wonderful presentation today. I'm sure you also sympathize with me. From the ministry, we want to congratulate the organizers of this very important activity, which will culminate into the election of the executive of the NUJ. I'm sure some months back or days back, NUJ was not, I did not understand the ministry when we wrote to them that the election could not head at that time. They wrote to us. In fact, we had consulted with security agencies at that time, and who, in all honesty, they show us it was not convenient at that time to allow the activities to go on. Having got that one, we wrote to the secretary, to the organizing committee, even to the national body, and we have, at that time, showed them we were very sorry for the inconveniences that was caused to the association. However, we are happy today, and you have all been witness. This activity is even more colorful today. Secondly, I have had the speakers, the SA to the governor and the PPS on the decision taken by His Excellency in the state. I want to add to this. Legally, let me inform this gathering that there is the right of self-defense. That is, it is position of the law. And once you have the right of self-defense, I don't expect anybody with that right to expect you can defend yourself with bow and arrow when somebody is holding AK-47. In my mind, this decision is a welcome decision by His Excellency, and I expect the Constitution allowed the right of self-defense, and in law we have this right of self-defense and defense of insanity. They are all defense. Even in the defense of yourself, even if it happens that you are able to eliminate your attacker, the law gives you that right, and you can be, on that defense, you can be discharged and acquitted before the court of law. Therefore, I think in my mind, we have even took a long time before deciding on this, in my own personal view. Because we know, and we have all known, if you go into our villages, you see almost all the villages are now empty. They were driven out of the place of comfort. Somebody who is in the village is not comfortable when he comes to Gusau. Because if you are in Gusau, you don't know what is happening in Mada. You don't know what is happening in High and Haji in my village. You don't know. I'm giving you this instance because I'm part and parcel of that area. And if the media can take a tour with security, let them go and see how villages were deserted. Are we going to continue like that? And I have said it for long. This problem we are seeing it as it is in the villages. In long time, it will come to the cities. And you see now, it is now coming to close to Gusau, because Mada is just a stone throw from Gusau. So I think we expect every person in the state not to only cooperate, and it is his duty, without getting any further explanation, to cooperate and help us in enlightening the country. Those in Abuja, those in any other part of the country, don't know what we experience in Zamfara. It is only we in Zamfara that know what we are experiencing. So in my view, this is the type of issues that you show us your patriotism as journalists, as members of this community, as part and parcel of this state. Even if you think there is areas you think that you ask for corruption, but I think the decision is highly correct, and to me is right. You can't defend yourself with bow and arrow when somebody is holding AK-47. So you go and advise your people, because it's better for me to be arrested with a charge of holding arms, gun, because I know I'm only going to be fined or sentenced for prison. than to allow somebody to come with a gun and kill me in my own house. I think that is even ordinarily is even better. So I think the right of self-defense, we should all know it. There is the right of self-defense in our law. So take this, forget about the sentiments used. These issues are more than political sentiments. They are doing with our lives, properties. Many people you are seeing in so some of them are, what do you call them? They are in good hijrah, like you see them. They are here. It was just yesterday, 10 persons left my house from that were from Mada. So I think it is high time our brothers and sisters, journalists, should understand that your profession is far beyond political alienation or political, what do you call it? Political.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Our special guest of this occasion, the highly respected dignitaries, the caretaker committees of NUJ, gentlemen of the press, security agencies. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Before I start, I would like to render an apology of my boss, Right Honorable Speakers and First House of Assembly, for not being here to attend this important occasion. And unavoidable circumstances came up, which because of the importance of this gathering, he assigned me to represent him here this afternoon. Before I start, I saw a piece of paper of 2 minutes, but I know I am going to, I will speak for more than 2 minutes. So I'm sorry for your paper of 2 minutes. Thank you. First of all, I want to speak on some few points, even though I'm not going to stay long here, because so many speakers have said it all, but at least I have some things that I will add it up to make the occasion. The importance of media today, we all know that, we should all know the importance of media today. The media is very important today in passing information, especially from the grassroots of our people to the leaders. Some of the people who are staying in the villages who cannot reach the leaders to pass some of their complaints, it becomes very easy for them when it comes to media to pass information to the leaders. And then their information sometimes is very important, especially some of the information that come from the villages which our hands cannot reach. And then secondly, the social media as the modern means of communication today, I will not say modern, because the earlier speaker, Honorable S.A. Public Enlightenment, Honorable Jelani Baffa, during his speech, he made mention, he differentiated between the social media and what do they call it? Okay, and the conventional journalists. Okay. If not for today, I won't be able to properly differentiate the two. If not for today, because sometimes I used to think myself, I would say, what is going on? Most of our qualified and authentic journalists are hiding and leaving some of the small children that cannot even ascertain an authentic information to be passing an information that will be causing chaos within the society. We have to be very careful. Or some people will say, okay, what do you want us to do? You can counter them. You can counter them with some of your authentic information. Being you as the journalist, if you see somebody will just wake up, maybe he will just dream that there is an attack in so village, A small boy, that it's even maybe a secondary school dropout. He will just wake up and start writing and attack in so place. Subhanallah. Being you as the authentic, as the qualified, as a professional journalist, there is a ways which you can counter such informations and bring out an authentic informations. For that, I want to recognize one of our media station here. I think the CEO is here. Sometimes he do counter with some of the authentic information, which is Dr. Anas in Thunder Blowers. Sometimes they counter. So if all of us here will come up, or let me say most of the radio stations here, we will come up with the Facebook accounts, Twitter accounts, Instagram handlers. You will be countering such false information. Such informations are not helping matters, especially in Zamfara State. So you have a very vital role to play. A very vital role to play. You don't think you can just sit down and allow all the small children to take over the media. And it's a very easy and fastest way of communication nowadays. If you want to say something or you want to communicate to the people, you can communicate and it will go around the world in just 1 minute. In just 1 minute. There was a time I saw someone posted on Facebook that there was an attack in one of my wards in my constituency. Okay. One of my wards in my constituency. So when I saw that post, I was like, what is going on? I immediately called on the attention of the security agencies. They told me that those information which I had are just Maya's rumors. I said, are you sure? They said yes. I said, okay. There was another attack which took the life of about 10 people in my own very constituency. I went for the burial. While on the burial, then they start making noise that somebody posted that those bandits are coming back again. We were together with the security agencies. So when I saw the post, I was like, who is this person? The person is just sitting in Gusau here. He's not even in my own local government. Talk more of that particular ward. He just maybe woke up from his sleep or slumber. He decided to post that they are coming back again. So we started to take various actions on the support to see if really the information which we saw on Facebook is a true or false information. But at long last, the information is just a social media information. Please, we have a very vital role to play on this. We should not allow the small children who are not even qualified, who are not professional, to take over social media, especially in Zamfara State. Let's create a platform where we can counter their false informations. And then, coming to security also, the security situation, which I think almost all the speakers speak on the security situations. And these days it becomes a topic of discussion due to the directives or given by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Zamfara State of Self-Defense. Somebody will just be sitting in Abuja and will be challenging, or is sitting somewhere else and be challenging the decision of His Excellency, the Executive Governor. I don't know if you can observe, ever since the situation of these security issues escalate in Zamfara, His Excellency, the Executive Governor, have not even gone to Ankara. He is still in Zamfara, rubbing mind together with some of our experienced security allied to see how we can conquer this situation. Then we come up with a self-defense. Whosoever will challenge this, maybe he has not even gone deep, or he is not even a victim, or he is not a citizen of Zamfara, or you are not been hearing what is going on. Imagine someone with just not even up to 18 years, will be holding a rifle of AK-47. Somebody that if you don't have that gun, you can fight him to death. But you will be holding a rifle. He will come to your house, take away your daughter, rape your daughter, take away your wife, rape your wife, take away your sister, rape your sister. And somebody will be telling you that there will be no self-defense. Maybe you will see a children of 10 holding AK-47 rifle. They will come to your house. Maybe you have children that are that their age is even more than those children. They will come to your house because they are holding rifle, AK-47 rifle. They will harass you, molest your family. Sometimes even in your presence. And somebody is telling you that you should not defend yourself. Come on. Do you know what is going on? Or you are just staying in Abuja, or you are just staying in somewhere else. I mean, it's high time even the federal government to know that in Zamfara, under the leadership of His Excellency, Right Honorable Dr. Bello Muhammad Matola Maradun, we will not allow this to continue. We will not allow it to continue. That is why, just of recent, the Zamfara State House of Assembly make a law, banditry law. We have been going up and down with His Excellency, rubbing mind together to see how we can tackle this situation, this security situation. But somebody will just be there posting an information which he is not even sure of, or you will be debating or arguing over something which has not even happened to you. Therefore, we are taking a very critical decisions this time around, and I assure you it's going to help. Those people that hold AK-47 rifles, how many lives do they have? They have only one rifle. They have only one life. Okay, you hold AK-47, I hold AK-47. Let's see what will happen. Let's see. In your local government, you have more than 1,000 youths that can defend you with that one AK-47 rifle. They only, how many of them do they come? Sometimes it's the fear that will lead to some people who will tell you that they come in thousands, they come in 200, it's fear. When you hold those rifles, depend your villages, depend your wards, depend your local government, you will see in 1 month if those people will attack your local government again. Let them come. Let's see head to head and see. Therefore, we are going to stick to this, and then we will see, we will fight this to the end by the special grace of God. And then, just as I said earlier, you, the journalists, have a very vital role to play when it comes to security situations. You should always make sure that you counter those social media aids that do post some informations that are misleading. Make sure you get an authentic information, and then you counter those information. You will see that when you start this, you will see most of us, or most people that are not even from Zamfara, if they see any information, they will decide to type your name in order to see an authentic information, not the so-called information that were passed on the social media. Therefore, we should try as much as we can to see how we can create a strong platform that will bring real information and authentic. And then, last but not the least, our relationship with the journalists of Zamfara State, or not even Zamfara State, Nigeria at large, under the leadership of Honorable Nasru Ma'azu Magaria. I am going to assure you that we are going to strengthen our relationship in order to pass an authentic information of all the happenings and concerns in Zamfara State. even though our relationship have always been tied together, because Zamfara State House of Assembly comprises of the whole Zamfara, because every polling, every ward, and every local government is heavily being represented in the Zamfara State House of Assembly. So everyone is represented in the Zamfara State House of Assembly. Therefore, Zamfara State House of Assembly is the Zamfara State, and it will remain Zamfara State by the special grace of God. Thank you very much, and we are very much happy that our leader, the Right Honorable Nasru Muazu Magaria, the Speaker of Zamfara State House of Assembly, is been invited to this important gathering. Thank you very much, and wassalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Please put your hands more to the Honorable Shamsuddin Hassan. Not only invited, but he is appointed to be the chairman of this occasion.
سبحانك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين. National anthem, please.